Hi everyone, welcome to episode 7 of Emma's Happy List. I'm Emma and this week I'm joined by girl boss herself, Emily Fender. So without further ado, let's dive straight in.
Hi, Emily.
Hello, Emma. How are you? We can call this one M and M.
M and M. I'm really well. How are you?
Yeah, all good. As you can see, I've got a beautiful backdrop.
You have, and if people are listening, they'll have to have a look at the YouTube video to check it out. But just as a description,
Cheeky plug.
it actually looks like a virtual background, so it doesn't look real, but it is actually real, isn't it? You can hear the birds tweeting.
You can hear the birds tweeting and everything, the bark of the tree, the leaves. Like, descriptive writing was never my strong point. It's very green.
It's
for anyone listening.
Green. And there's a big
Use
tree.
your imagination. Use your imagination. Picture it.
Yeah, it looks amazing regardless. And just before we get into like full-on episode swing, there is no way that I can even begin to start listing out your accolades, so you may as well just do it yourself. So Emily Fender, everyone, Miss Girlboss herself, but go on, tell everyone what you're up to, because it's quite substantial.
Oh, well, you've set me up for a right fall by here now. If I don't measure up to people's expectations, you've set me right up.
No expectations.
My
Carry on.
My name is Emily. By trade, I am a psychiatric mental health nurse, but by nature, I am a girl boss, and that can be taken however you want it. Run my own business, run my own little network of things. I tend to collect people that are wonderful, and you just happen to be one of them. So
thank you. It's so kind of you to say. So we'll get into like the mental health nursing in a minute, but we've already mentioned in a couple of episodes of Emma's Happy List, Girl Boss Club. So yes, you are Miss Girl Boss Club. So go ahead and tell the listeners who don't know what Girl Boss Club is, and maybe also the big vision for Girl Boss Club.
Oh, well,
if you feel brave enough.
That is, Sunday afternoon, ease into it. Thank you for plugging me away. I've had lots more followers since your podcast. It is so much bigger than me. Like, it's not even mine anymore. It's like this whole entity. So a backdrop of it is like, I posted on Facebook about 18 months ago, like, I'm back in the world of self-employment after failing miserably the first time round, went bankrupt, went to uni, got my nursing degree.
It has to happen.
Fail fast, fail hard, and try again. Went and done nursing for the NHS for a bit, and was just like, oh, I want to do something else, something more, something for me, because it's just in me. I am quite entrepreneurial, and I like to work smart, not hard, and that is the antithesis of what any massive company is about, I guess. So I put a little status out, like, does anyone want to go for a coffee and talk about being self-employed? And it had like 500 shares, and I thought, can't buy a coffee for all them. So Girl Boss Club was born.
Not yet, anyway.
Them to start. Not yet.
Yet.
I like the word yet. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went, well, we'll all go together, and we get speakers in, and the community the girls have built is just unreal. Like,
Remind me again,
grateful.
Remind me again when you actually started that. So when did that message go out?
January 2019, and we've been meeting monthly ever since, and it's just gone clean off. It just grows every month, and I'm just beyond humble and grateful, and just actually can't believe my luck, to be honest with you. Can't believe my luck. I'm just this little scally musher from Penland that's had to go or something, and it's worked.
That's not a true description of yourself, by the way. You need to be a bit more careful with your words about yourself, as you know. But I was just asking because obviously I've only been part of Girl Boss Club since January. Already I've taken so much from it, and I've had so many sort of connections from it and various other things. But in the space of, what's that, like 18 months then? Less than 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's like a community in its own right now. It's just, it would have, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's taken on a life of its own, hasn't it? Like you said.
It very much has, and it's very little to do with me, like the success of it. I think it's just shown that people needed it, and it's what is on my happy list. So Diane for pulling that out of me before I've even shared it. Just that feel that what you're talking about there and describing is what's on my happy list.
Yeah, but of course you are like you're the engine behind it. You are like the fuel, not you're the engine and the fuel, if you get me. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? It progresses and it keeps growing because you have a vision for it. It would be very easily like, you know, let go of if there wasn't you there to like glue it all back together, because you've not only done it. So obviously it started in Swansea where you and I live, but now it's moved to Cardiff and there's a presence in Cardiff as well. So what's going on in Cardiff at the moment?
There is not a lot at the moment, gal, because
Oh,
we're
well.
all grounded. But pre being grounded and sent to our rooms by Mother Nature. Yeah, it was growing up in Cardiff. We were on our way up the valleys. We were looking to go down Carmarthenshire and just really put the message out there to anyone, really. Like, and I just want to make a distinction that you don't have to be self-employed to be a girl boss. Like, it is very much a mindset of community and support, you know, empowerment and support, and driving that message that your life can look however you want it to. That if you want to rise up the ranks in another job, or you just want to be your best self in a job, or you want to build a completely different life to how that looks to anyone else, it's about really telling people that that's okay, and you can be yourself when you come to Girl Boss. So it's just coming together and sharing like knowledge and hearing what other people have got to say. We have speakers come in, so, and it's a bit social. Like, you know, I'm my full self at Girl Boss. I would turn up there in my nurse scrubs late to my own event that I'd arranged. Just like, so it's about me, like getting changed. And I hope that turning up like that encourages other people to just be themselves.
Yeah, 100%. And it does, because you're not only yourself in like those like physical meetings and stuff, but you're yourself all over the social media. When you put up your live videos, when you put up your videos, your chats and stuff like that, you are authentic. And I think we discussed this the other day, that when you are authentic, it encourages other people then to be like, oh, that's okay. I can be authentic as well. And
it's
actually,
just permission.
Yeah. So my experience from it was just, so I've always felt like a bit of a black sheep, just in the way that I think. So big like trigger words here, like in the way that I think. I don't like to be boxed by these sort of social expectations and things like that. And I very, very often get questioned by very close friends, very close family. Well, why are you doing that? Why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? Like my 11-year-old nephew has sort of absorbed this conversation so much from my family that even he is saying to me, well, why don't you just settle down? Why don't you just get your own house and settle down? Literally, that's it's a difficult one for me, because I'm trying to explain the fact that I'm actually striving for something a bit more than settling down. I'm, you know, looking to fulfill, like I've got sort of a lot of goals and things that I want to fulfill, and I'm not going to do them by settling down and following the path that's everyone else is taking. Well, not everyone else, clearly. So I had a very big need to find my tribe, to find people in my local like vicinity, because all right, we've got online and that's really helpful sometimes, but sometimes it feels worlds away when you're talking to people that you aspire to sort of emulate, and but they're like living a life in LA or whatever. It's very different when you can connect with people that are on your level, but they are, you know, you like very near. You can go for a coffee, like you say. I'll take you up on that coffee, by the way.
You're paying. It's that, isn't it? It's created. It's like you've read my journal and you've literally quoting out of it now, and I've got nothing to say. No, it's finding your tribe and people who get it, and so you haven't got to explain yourself or feel like you're shrinking yourself or the way that you want to speak. Because everyone's different. Everyone's got different models of the world. Everyone's different things. Everyone sees things differently, and that's okay. Like, that is okay. And it's taken me a long time to get to that. It's taken me a lot of work and a lot of money and a lot of self-help books. But just to go, that's me. I'm going to do me. You're welcome to come and do you.
Yeah.
And we're not comparing, we're not competing, we're all helping. And the main message behind Girl Boss for me, which I hope has sort of percolated through, is that there's enough room for everyone at the table. Like, there's enough room. Historically, there'd be like one woman on a board of 12 men, and they've ticked that box. Then if there was a black woman, they've ticked 2 boxes, and they don't need to employ anyone else, because, you know, there's one seat at the table. But there's not now. There's plenty of seats, and it's all about helping other people up and supporting and encouraging and clapping when people win, and all of the other cliche Insta quotes you could possibly find. But that's truly how I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's the sort of, well, why don't you say in your own words, you know, what's the core, what are the principles, like the values of Girl Boss Club? What are the values? Tell me.
It's literally on the logo: positivity, support, and empowerment. That's it.
Amazing.
Community and over competition. Like, that is it. That is in my bloodstream, and that comes across in my nursing and in the care and support mental health company that we're in the middle of launching. Everybody deserves a place, no matter where they're coming from, no matter what they want, their background. Everybody deserves to feel a part of something.
Yeah.
And that brings me nicely onto my happy list.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Did you see that clever little segue I did then?
I did. I enjoyed it very much. Go on, take us through it.
My happy list, which I've been writing since I've been here at Forest Hill.
Wait, did you have one before?
So I started one, and then I've gone back to it since I've been here. So I've been writing this for the last 5 weeks. So we've been staying in this beautiful location while we move house. As you can probably tell, I've been a dream to live with while all this is going on. Moving house during lockdown, it's been a lot of minutes. So I've gone back to it, and I really get where you're coming from, both as someone who is massively into self-development and growth and mindset, and putting my nurse hat on, that it's a tool.
Yeah.
And I talk to my patients, you know, with severe mental health diagnoses, about their toolkit. Go to your toolkit, go to your toolbox. What can you pull on in this crisis? You know, is it bringing yourself back to now? Is it a bit of mindfulness? Is it a bit of, like, I don't know, looking to the future, to the past, being present in the moment?
Yeah.
And I think having a toolbox of, like, well, what actually makes me happy? How can I flip what's going on for me right now, and realign my mindset, my mood to perhaps help me through what's going on for me right now and get through this crisis. And, you know, it would be, you know, in a more serious context than me just having a bit of a grump on. It would be in a, you know, are they going to self-harm? Are they going to do something, you know, catastrophic in a crisis? But can they bring themselves back down? So when I'm back in work properly, I will be using a happy list as part of my nursing toolkit.
God, that is like goals, right? When you start a podcast. That's kind of what you so I had a bit of criticism this week. I'm going to share this with you and, like, everyone who's listening now. So I had a bit of criticism because the term happy is so thrown around, and people sort of a desire to be happy, and it's like a destination, but that's really not what I'm trying to sort of portray here. Happiness is not a destination, but if you think of your day as a series of decisions, you make decisions every minute of the day, and you can choose to think thoughts that benefit you. You can choose to think thoughts that don't benefit you. Most people don't realize it's a choice, but it actually is a choice. And then when I was criticized in this way, I was saying, well, the happy list is not there to, you know, just instantaneously sort of you're gone from, like, clinically depressed to happy now. That's not what it is. But what it is it's taking you into a frame of mind that means that you're more likely to make better decisions. So when you say, like, the first episode, painting, for example, for me, if I am there painting, and so I I feel like a place where I don't want to be, I look at my happy list. Oh yeah, I really enjoy painting. I'm going to go away, paint a picture that's like going to take me half an hour, and that methodical sort of enjoyment brings me up a level
Mhm.
to make better decisions. So like you're saying, it's absolutely a tool. It's a tool, it's not a destination, but it's a tool in order to have more consistency in your decision making, in your like, in your decisions that positively affect your life. So
Absolutely.
yeah, just
I like
so
second that as a nurse. So tell them that a psych nurse, no, it's bringing yourself down to a level where you're slowing your thoughts and you're picking your thoughts. You're going, oh, that's a negative thought. I'm not going to give that too much weight or gravity. I'm going to try and reframe that, rewrite it, and focus on these thoughts. It's like picking your clothes. You
yeah,
pick things that make you feel good.
yeah,
Clearly that's gone out the window for anyone watching. Like, lockdown doesn't count.
doesn't count.
But yeah, you're picking your thoughts and you're choosing what to focus on. And yeah, I think we do get called out, myself absolutely guilty of this, of destination addiction. I will be happy when. But if you can be happy and grateful and present in this moment and not when that happens, like, I could be saying I'll be happy when I move into my new house. Well,
Yeah.
let's be happy now, because now's all we got.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of, so for everyone who maybe is feeling a bit like my happy list is sort of, belittling issues, or it's just like not dealing with the issues or whatnot. It's the point of it is for you to regain a bit of control. So recognize that you are in a place where you don't want to be, and then go into your toolkit to get to a place that's more beneficial to you. So I just wanted to clear that up in this episode in case, and I'm not like, obviously I'm not certified in any sort of healthcare, and I'm not professed and I know everything about everyone, and that's not true. But being backed up by you in this instance, in that it will, you will take it away and you will use it with your patients, is a big sort of thumbs up to me, that actually it's a good thing to have, and it's a good thing to invest in. So your time in. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And it's very much rooted in your CBT and in your solution focused therapy, because I struggled with this at the beginning of lockdown. I know we shouldn't focus on this, but I'm just gonna. So by me being, I'm so blessed, and I'm doing my gratitudes, and I'm thinking, oh God, but this is happening out there and people are dying. And then I had my coaching session, and my coach Cora said to me, you being sad or miserable or not allowing yourself to feel grateful or happy or blessed with your situation doesn't make any other worse situation any better by making yourself miserable as well. Like, allow yourself to feel them things, because that's happening out there in the world. You have no control over it, but you've got control and power to choose for yourself. So
And that's not to say
you're
you
very
don't
wise,
care.
Emma. Not to say you don't care or you're not acknowledging what's going on. You are, and you're mindful, and that should feed even more into your gratitude. That is that you're, not that I'm all right, Jack, that mindset. I don't like that, but in a, oh, thank you so much, God, universe, Buddha, Beyonce, whoever you're praying to. Thank you so much that I'm okay, and I'm going to take this gratitude forwards, and when all this passes, I'll pay that back, pay that forwards.
Yeah, 100%. I do love your turn of phrases, by the way. They are quite entertaining. Beyonce, my new
Who
my
run
new
the
little
world.
shrine.
Yeah, and it feeds back into being authentic, because I did try and filter myself, and I did try and clip my wings and turn up, not authentically. And my videos that I first started doing was a little bit nervous, maybe. And my dad and Mr. Girl Boss were just like, why are you talking like a dick for? Like, I was trying to filter myself, that I wasn't being myself. And then it's just incongruent, and people would meet me and they'd be like, oh, this is odd. This is not how you are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just speak as I like to. There's no real filter, but there's no offense or harm intended. It just comes out.
Yeah, well, you are, and people buy into authenticity, don't they? They buy into like realness. And actually, so in my line of work as a digital strategist, just so I know, so people know what I'm talking about. This is the instance where I know what I'm talking about. What we're seeing is, so Whereas we did go through that phase of like Instagrammable everything and perfect everything, and people bought into that. What's actually happening now with like Gen Z is there's been a bit of a switch, and they're just like, oh, I'm sick to death of seeing everything so damn perfect, and they're buying into the really authentic things that turn things on their head. So I don't know if you've seen that that lady, like she takes the mick out of all like the model poses, and she
I
does
love
it like,
her.
I don't know what her name is, but that sort of thing. So people are now buying into the, oh, like, you know, I don't have to be photoshopped to like the most
It's
perfect.
real. It's reality, and it's questioning what we're fed. Like, you know, we've all got parts of ourselves. We've all got bad skin days or cellulite or whatever, and we're going, well, no, this is what real people look like. And I think the whole movement around the Be Kind and the Caroline Flack tragic incident that happened is that's reverberated through society, and everyone's actually going, no, why are we picking on people and being nasty? Like, let's re-look at that, as long as you're, you know, congruent and hashtag be kind and are being kind.
About
But
time
yeah,
though, eh?
about time. Imagine asking to be told to be kind. But yeah, people are really questioning and scratching the surface and wanting to know like the story and the values behind brands and businesses and people, and not taking things at face value. And I think that's really important to question, especially for youngsters coming through.
Yeah, 100%. And going back to, so obviously this feeds in really, really well with Girl Boss Club. So tell me your favorite memory since starting Girl Boss Club. Like, what's been like so far? The journey's been obviously incredible so far in just like a year and a half, but what's the standout memory at like today?
Honestly, when I've been able to stand back and like look at a room of people that are all aggressively like accepting each other and really intently listening to each other,
Aggressive
and just like
acceptance. I love that.
aggressive acceptance.
Like, I accept you so badly.
Oh my god, just be yourself. I love it. Just I'm quite a watcher. Like I'm literally trained in assessment, so I have to step back. But sometimes I'm like a bit of a creeper. I like go up the stairs in Girl Boss and just listen to the chatter, and you can just feel the vibrations of positivity and just that human connection. The retreat stands out for me, which is where I met you, where we all went down the Gower and sort of cried for 3 days.
It's funny because it's true.
It's funny because it's true, God. And if that's not authentic, I don't know what is. Just that radical like acceptance, and that growth is not always beautiful and Instagrammable. Sometimes it's messy and snotty, and you ugly cry in the middle of a dilapidated chapel in the Gower, and then you do a bit of yoga and scream off a cliff. Like, that's what balanced, well-rounded humans do, I'm sure. But it's just that feeling of togetherness. Just that's there's no moment that I can, like, you know, if I was being an egotistical dick, I could sit here and say it was when I won an award, like, but
tell me about it. Tell me about the award.
Oh, see, you're gonna I was nominated by an overwhelming number of the girls, and it just absolutely blew me away, and I get a little bit teary thinking about it every time, because I just can't believe how it took off and how far it come from the person I used to be. But the girls nominated me for a Woman in Business award for starting Girl Boss, and I went to this amazing award ceremony with Mr. Girl Boss, who clapped, like, just seeing him being like, wow, this is mental. I borrowed 20 quid of my mother to be able to go, because it was when the business wasn't even doing that well, which was really ironic. I won a Woman in Business award and I was skint. But it was, yeah, it was
authenticity,
fantastic. That's what it is. But it was amazing to just see, not myself, but Girl Boss Club recognised for that amazing sense of community which the girls have built, not me, the girls.
So not even a year in running, and it gets a lovely little award. That's not bad, eh? So the future's bright.
Future's bright. The future's female.
Is
ooh. That is a joke. I am joking. Yeah.
My question was though, is Girl Boss Club going global?
Well, I have got quite a lot of American followers, and me and Bex Forrest have been talking a lot about this week, about how Americans are like, yeah, you go, like the American dream, you've got this, like think big as you can, because their country's so new and they haven't got no history, so they have to think forward, not back. And I think Britain is so like modest and stuck in their history that they, yeah, so like I'd love to franchise it, and every city have a little girl boss club, witches coven cult that, you know, everyone can go and be a part of.
Let's not missell this now. Let's use the correct description, shall we?
It's definitely not a cult. That was a joke. There is definitely not a prayer and a chant we say at every meeting. It's just a lovely coming together, a meeting of minds, and I think everybody should feel that they've got access to a space, as such, however that looks.
Yeah, so thank you from all of us for setting that up.
Oh, don't.
We're going to start you off now. No, but thank you.
I'm very emotional.
It does add value to lots of lives, and I'm sure it's going to grow exponentially, whether you like it or not. So, so this was one of the first times actually that I have decided what to talk about from my gratitude list beforehand. I know, because I thought you and I would have a very good conversation about what's on my happy list. Is quite controversial. But I feel like it needs to be addressed, and a lot of people will sort of buy into it as well. So what we'll probably discuss about it. So without further ado, the next thing on my happy list is having money. And I know, yeah, too deep.
Settle in, guys. Settle in.
I love money, and I'm not afraid to say that. And a lot of people will be like, yeah, of course, everybody loves having money. Everyone likes money. However, when you actually deep dive into like your own psychology, this has been the case for me. It may resonate with some listeners, but I have had an exponential growth in my personal development in the last 3 years, I would say, especially to do with money. So I feel like before I was very much in a poverty mindset, not realizing that I was, but definitely in a poverty mindset. And now I am on a upward trajectory with my mindset, and I'll go through that in a second. But give me your thoughts, Emily Fender. Do you love money?
So, as somebody who at a young age had a business that made okay money, we'll say that, like at 19 I was making more money than I could spend some weeks, and then at 23 was bankrupt. And now I'm starting to have some regular money, obviously not right now, coming in. I can definitely say that having the money, I was clinically depressed. Being bankrupt, I was quite nearly sectioned, very, very unwell. And now I'm sort of on a middle ground. And I can absolutely say that money doesn't bring happiness. But would I choose to have money over being bankrupt every day of the week? Because it's not what you can buy with it, but it's what it means. And it means security. And it means freedom.
Yeah.
And not being tied. How diplomatic was that answer?
Yeah, it was very good. Well done. I am impressed. Obviously, money is a very controversial issue, and that's because depending on your upbringing, you've been sort of fed fables or belief systems about money. So
don't talk about money. It's bashful. It's like, it's boastful. Yeah, no, I'm really, really comfortable in having them conversations. Because yeah, I've had it, I've not had it. I'm starting to try and build my pot again. And everyone was embarrassed for me when I was bankrupt, and I was quite happy to talk about it, but nobody wanted to listen. And then when you're plotting and scheming and trying to build a business again, you feel like you're bragging or you're showing off. So yeah, British people are not great at it. But I think honest, open communication about every subject is just how we be better and how we move on.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, like you were saying about like the difference between American culture and British culture, like British people are very much like closed off about their money, like we mustn't talk about it. In fact,
Yeah.
like I feel like I had to get over a lot of shame when it came to money. Like if I would make a lot of money, I wouldn't be able to tell people I had money, because that's like there's a lot of sort of deep rooted shame and stuff. But so the big turning point, so I'm gonna tell a little story. The big turning point for me was last October. So I went to Istanbul. It was incredible. So I know I went to a personal development weekend in Istanbul. Very on brand for me, isn't it? Yes.
And then comes on the gower with me. What an anticlimax.
No, both equally, you know, there was benefits to both, and yeah. And one of the speakers there, so it was organized by a personal development company called Mind Valley. Don't know if you know of them, but they've got lots of free like tools and courses. That's for the benefit of everyone listening as well. Definitely go and have a look if you're interested in personal growth and personal development, not just about money, but about, you know, lots of areas of life. But the lady that was talking is called Marissa Peer. Have you ever heard of Marissa Peer? No, she's a
Haven't heard of it.
hypnotherapist. So she's she's a very sort of well-known hypnotherapist. She deals with like the royals, the celebrities, she and she taps into, you know, the reasons why they may be super successful in some areas of their life, but then struggling with like their love life or whatever. So she sort of looks into their psychology. And what she did in this particular session with us was it was focused around money. So any money blocks that we've got and we're not aware of. And because she's a hypnotherapist, she basically hypnotized all of us in the audience. But what she did was she showcased the fact that everything that you think and know about money just comes down to your core beliefs. And these beliefs you made after being on this planet for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, that type of age. So you'd only been on this planet for 5 years, and you already started to sort of harden these beliefs about money and deep inside of you. And what's happened as you've grown older is that you have you've got like, what's the word, confirmation bias. So you will notice things that feed into that belief about money.
Because a belief, I'll just quickly chip in there, a belief is just a thought that you quite like having because it makes you feel however, or people have responded to you however.
Yeah, it's familiarity. It's because our beliefs are what we're familiar with, and we don't like going against those because that's like unfamiliar territory and stuff. But I've actually got a little exercise that I have to like illustrate this. So for every listener and stuff, I knew you'd be keen. So you may have done this before, but it's just to literally show that you have I'll talk about that in a sec. So basically you have to close your eyes. Sorry to put you on the spot. Close your eyes. Now imagine you've got in your hand half a lemon. So you've got a lemon chopped in half. And now what you want to do is just smush it in your mouth, take a big bite, and chew into it, let it slosh around your mouth. Now tell me, have you had a physical response?
Yeah, I'm scrunching my face up and like my toes have curled under because I'm pretending that that it's sour just because you've said lemon.
Yeah, even
our brains are so weird.
I know, even like some people, obviously I got like I salivated.
Achy jaw. I've got an achy jaw and I'm like,
so without knowing
my mouth is watering.
So without knowing it, basically what we are doing is we are reacting to belief systems. So we believe, like, obviously we just tricked our brains as well into thinking we had a lemon, and we are reacting to that. So this is the same for money. So what her sort of analogy is that it all comes down to a feeling of not believing that you are worth what you're worth, and not believing that you are enough. So even if you got all of this money, even if you somehow like managed to get all of this money in your life, you would give it away and you would somehow lose it. This is how so many people like win the lottery and then they have like, they blow it all because they don't feel worthy of that money. They don't feel worthy of like having that money. So I suppose the thing that she did with us was that she hypnotized us, and then she took us back to like a moment in our teenage lives that we felt that feeling, or that first sort of instance of being aware of money, or having a belief about money. Okay, and mine went back to the moment that we were in a shop choosing my prom dress, me and my parents, right, in the shop choosing my prom dress, and the guilt that I felt because the prom dress was quite expensive, right? So we had this agreement when we went into school, me and my brother and my parents. So they were like, you're allowed one big school trip in school, like you just allowed one. So my brother went to South Africa on a rugby tour, and I waited and waited and waited because they told us in year 11 they were going to Canada. So I waited and waited. I missed all the ski trips. Don't get me started on that. Missed all the ski trips, like all of that sort of stuff. And then year 11 came around. We didn't go to Canada. So my parents were like, okay, well, you can have a really nice prom dress. You know, we'll go to like the really boutique-y shops and we'll spend like, you know, you can have a lovely prom dress, and that's sort of like the like compensation. But I remember being there in this dress that cost like a fortune, looking at myself in the mirror and being like, I can't believe I'm putting this hardship on my parents. I can't believe I am putting my parents are going to pay this money for me to look nice for one day. And
I'd rather go to Canada.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's another story. Like that was the memory though. So the memory that
yeah, I feel you. That feeling, that emotion is you've attached. Yeah.
So I was like, oh my goodness. But Marissa basically teaches you to have like a conversation with yourself as an adult to the teenager in that moment, like reprogramming your thought about money in that instance. Then she goes a step further and she's like, right, take it back again. Take it back to like when you are like 10 or like around, you know, young childish. And I had another memory, and I had an instance where I was sat with my dad and my grandparents, and they were like I think I was just listening, just not really listening, if you get me, like playing with toys or whatever, but I was obviously taking in what they were saying, because they were talking about a member of our family who is quite wealthy and has got a lot of money, but they were so negative about him. They were really, really, really negative. And so I feel like the belief system I took on then was people with money aren't very nice, and they're not very good, and they're not very giving, and they're not generous, etc. So again, she did the same thing, and we had like a little discussion with ourselves about, you know, there are good people have money too, and all of this. So she did it again where we went a step back, and it was basically your first memory of the like money memory, if you like. And I went back to a point where I was like to my parents, oh, I really want to go on a plane holiday. I used to call them plane holidays because we used to go like camping like for the summer and stuff. I really wanted to go on a plane holiday because I thought they were like the bee's knees and whatever. And we can't afford it was the bottom line. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. So again, Marissa teaches you how to reprogram those memories. But what it made me realize was that I've grown up with feelings of there's not enough to go around. Even if I had the money, that would make me a bad person. And I would have so much guilt over overspending the money anyway, then I'm probably better off not having it. So having to address all of that, and it's not like an overnight thing, but that is the reason why it's on my happy list, because actually the experiences and the security and the comfort that I get from having plenty of money and knowing that plenty of money is coming to me actually does make me feel very happy. Makes me very happy indeed. So
very clever, rewiring and reparenting and taking that. It's almost like it's a generational thing as well, though I will acknowledge that. And it's quite like a working class hero type of mindset, isn't it? Like keeping yourself in that little box and labeling yourself. It's very interesting. I've been doing a lot of research on this. Where is it? Marissa Peer.
Yeah, I would
Doing a
definitely.
lot of research on her.
She's got lots of YouTube videos and stuff. Obviously, I was lucky enough to actually be in person. She does another exercise as well, where she gets you to close your eyes and hold your hand out, and she instills a belief in you that one hand you're like holding on to something really heavy, and the other hand is light as a feather, and you end up with like one arm up, one arm down. You open your eyes, and you're like, goodness me, when did that happen? But it's because she's programming your brain to think like beliefs that can essentially be seeded. So you can turn this on its head, and you can literally seed in any beliefs that you want. So if you can like seed in all of the beliefs that are going to like benefit you, doesn't have to be about money, of course, it can be about anything, then it can like transform your life so that you are, living to your potential.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Rewiring.
Rewiring your
Very on
brain.
brand. Very on brand.
Yeah, maybe we should do actually a girl boss sesh on
Money, 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 money.
yeah.
Money. Oh,
Because
no one needs to hear that. Sorry, everyone. I totally forgot that was being recorded then. I do excuse me, because no one needs that coming through a pair of headphones, I know.
apology accepted. Just be yourself. Go on, sing away. What have you got? Any sort of any really positive money stories that you can share with the listeners that come to mind that would like benefit them to have like a more sort of positive feeling about having money? I bet you some people don't even realize that they've got negativity and blocks about money until they really start thinking about their their sort of financial situation with a bit of objectivity.
I think that my experience of not having anything, struggling, bankruptcy, and then trying to build again, has shown me that like sort of bounce back ability around that subject, that's not where you are. Where you are is not always where you need to be. My parents still live in the council house in Penlan, and I've got no sort of snobbery either way about that. I think you can get reverse snobbery sometimes, where you think that it's wrong or boastful to say that you want whatever. You want a new car, you want whatever, but yeah, whatever you've lost or whatever you haven't got, you can always get again. Like, it's fluid, it comes in and out like the tide, like it's not permanent. And also it's not wealth, because when I had a little bit of money, I'd never been more miserable. So it's detaching it from actually making you happy, and knowing that it doesn't, but it helps to like feed into whatever you're trying to create for yourself.
Yeah, what I love about it, the way I think about money now, so I never used to think about this previously. I think money as an energy, and I think money as like it's like flowing, constantly flowing. It's like energy is neutral as well, so it's not bad, it's not good, it's energy. It just can be whatever you utilize it for. Yeah, whatever you utilize it for is the sort of outcome. And for me, like I was saying earlier, like I live for adventure. Like, and honestly, if someone said to me, where does all your money go? I'd be like, adventures, traveling, my van, like that takes up a lot of my money as well. But literally it's the I don't love the money, I love the experiences and what money gets me, and I love that it's available to me, and I love that it's an energy that I can tap into. So yeah, and attract and keep flowing at the end of the day. So yeah, that's kind of where that comes from. That's why it's on my happy list. It's quite high on my happy list as well, I think. And that's probably because at the start of every year, I have like 12 categories of life that I like to set goals for.
Same. In the wheel of life, I do it with my patients, and one day I thought I'll do it for myself.
How did it go?
Yeah, I examined all the areas, and I thought where needs improvement, where needs, very, it's a very visual way of looking at things, and goal setting, and more femininely, intention setting, where you want to grow and where you want to, where you want to grow.
Yeah, 100%. So like that's, and I think the top ones in mine are always sort of feeding into the sort of first few categories that I always look at, like the big categories, if you get me. But that is probably another episode, I guess, like, or maybe like a workshop. I don't know. Maybe we can tag team a workshop on it. So now is the opportunity that you get to go free reign on promoting yourself, promoting your brands, promoting your Instagram handles, etc. Go for it. Tell everyone where they can find you.
So we are at Girl Boss Club with a couple of underscores in there, but we've got a little crown as our Insta handle. The company I run for mental health support is called Empower Support, because like you and your empire, I thought get a little M in there, name it after myself.
The legacy.
It's my legacy, but then, you know, Trump puts his name on everything, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, Girl Boss Club and the feeling of community and feeling a part of something bigger than yourself was on my happy list, and I'm glad we got to speak about it. And when I was thinking about it yesterday, I realised that that's all that anyone wants, whether that's you follow a religion, or if you are a football hooligan, or you join a certain club or institution, or you are a member of a political party, or you raise money for a charity, is to feel part of something, to feel part of a tribe.
Yeah.
It's your caveman brain looking after you, because if you're part of a tribe, that means you're eating and getting kept warm and and staying in with everybody else in that community.
You've just me. I'm going to just interrupt you. So I've plugged this book before, like The Magic, because
Magic, amazing.
It is generally, but I'm gonna, like, that leads me such, like, I'm gonna read the first couple of lines of chapter 3, which it is exactly what you just said. So imagine if you were the only person on earth, you would have no desire to do anything. What would be the point in creating a painting if no one could see it? What would be the point in composing music if no one could hear it? What could be the point in inventing anything if there was no one to use it? There would be no reason to move from one place to another, because wherever you went would be the same as where you were. No one would be there. There would be no pleasure or joy in life. It's your contact and experiences with other people that give you life joy, meaning, and purpose. Because of that, your relationships affect your life more than anything else. Mate,
that is so on point for right now. I shared something this morning saying we are not missing material things in not lockdown. We are missing human connection. And it's that when we feel a part of something, a part of community, that we feel so small and like a cog in it all. And that can be perceived as a bad thing, but it's not, because when you feel small and a part of something bigger, whether that's whatever, however you perceive your tribe, your community, your network, your sisterhood, your wolf pack, whatever you perceive it as, you feel small, therefore your problems are smaller.
Yeah.
And like, I love that. And it's like why I like floating in the sea as well, because your problems feel so small because you feel so tiny. And my wanting to feel a part of something, a part of a nursing institution by being a nurse, a part of a profession, a part of, the community in Girl Boss is driven from a very painful place, a very painful memory. So I was quite poorly when I was in school. I left school when I was about 13 in year 9. I was in Morrison Hospital for a long time, and when I went back to school I was in a wheelchair, so I was not part of anything then. I missed out on not only my education but like the social side of things, because like when you're a teenager there's lots of dynamics going on and people are learning how to like form and storm and create these relationships and these cliques, and you're learning about social dynamics and relationships and how to form human connections. And I didn't really get that. I missed that, like I had my family around me and my parents and my brother, but that social element of life, I missed it. I missed the learning of it because I was in hospital. So I think that wanting a solid community around me and actively seeking out people that think the same or that are just like-minded in any way is trying to sort of heal that, because that feeling of eating my dinner on my own and feeling so left out, I never want anyone to feel like that. So yeah. I really hope that the way that Girl Boss is built and gains momentum, that no one will ever feel like that when they come to an event or they jump on a Zoom call or they follow us on Instagram or Facebook, or they're looking for that community. And I really, really hope that they find that and they feel welcomed. And it's the reason that everyone's out on their doorsteps at the minute at 8 o'clock on a Thursday clapping.
Yeah.
And neighbours are having like, oh, hiya, across the fence. Or they're having socially distanced street parties, because we need that community. We're not meant, no woman is an island, to rephrase about the boy. Like, we're not meant to live on our own and solitary. Because we don't have all the answers and all the skills, and we need to share and support one another.
Yeah.
So yeah, without getting too deep on a Sunday, that's what the driving force behind ensuring everybody feels welcome and part of something. That's what drives it for me.
Oh, I love that. I don't know what to say to it. I'm just like, yeah, I love it. So I hope you're gonna post about this on your socials, share your happy
Obviously.
list, obviously,
Obviously.
and share the love with the community. And yeah, for everyone who's listening, so you can share your happy list as well. Just use the hashtag share your happy list, or drop me a message. I finally changed my Instagram handle because of the lady right here. Emily made me do it.
I was like, this is not very on brand, hun. You need to like have a little Insta refresh. And as someone who spoke on our social media workshop day, like, you've got to lead from the front, gal.
I know. I feel
And
like
you are.
I did have that that slight barrier between, so I've got my business page, and then I've got my personal page, and then I suppose my podcast is my personal, because it is me, and it is
We
what,
are our business though. Like, we are.
yeah,
We can't separate ourselves,
yeah,
because it is you. It's named after you, for God's sake. You're in it, and
yeah,
it's all one. But I know what you mean. It's hard to raise your hand and go, this is what I think and this is who I am. But
yeah.
you're there, you're doing it, and it's gaining such momentum, and it's really helping people, I think, during this difficult time. And we have got through all this without saying the C word. It's in this difficult time, having that inner contemplation and that unboxing of things that we've maybe put to one side and made ourselves double busy,
Yeah.
having that reflective, quiet time to be like, who am I? What do I like? What actually makes me happy?
Yeah.
And then doing some of them things. And it's just, I guess, a revelation. We can do things that make ourselves happy with all
Who
this time on our hands.
knew?
Who knew?
I know, it's like a revolutionary idea. Sorry, that was really like blah, blah, blah. A revolutionary idea. There we go.
It is.
Right.
So share your happy list.
Yeah, share your happy list. Also, obviously, taking suggestions to everyone who's listening. So if there's something that you think should be included in these podcasts, then I'm absolutely open to suggestions, open to personal development, open to growth, as is the lady on the call today, on the Zoom call today. But other than that, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you ever so much. I feel
Thank you
like
for asking me on.
we'll probably have another one. Like, I just feel like there's so much to go into, but I've really appreciated your time today, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the day.
I will indeed, and yourself. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and bye to all the listeners. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.